According to ancient Maya beliefs, the year-bearer god carried the burden of the year on his back and then passed it on to his successors. So too, the Maya themselves carried a burden of service to their many gods that their communities might prosper. When the Spanish conquered the Maya in the 16th century, they brought Catholicism and a new god, Christ, who carried the weight of redemption for all mankind. Today, for the Highland Maya of Mexico and Guatemala, shouldering this dual burden of Christian and Maya service has evolved into a complex set of practices called the cargo system. The name derives from the Spanish words cargar, to carry, and encargado, to be in charge of. These practices are not only religious, but they are economic as well. For through the cargo system, a man gains status and prestige by giving his wealth away. Great Maya astronomers and mathematicians who once walked through these halls have vanished. But the spirit of reverent labor in service to the gods remains in a modern institution known as the cargo system. Religious faith infuses all aspects of this system, but it has important social and economic consequences as well. Crosses are everywhere in the Highlands, but they are the crosses of the old religion, doorways to the ancestral gods. When the Spanish priests arrived with the new religion of crucifixion, of blood, of ceremonial liquor, and of sacrifice, it was not difficult for the Maya to fuse the old and the new. The Maya still worship the old gods, and the shaman makes a blood sacrifice so that the earth will not shake. In one of the great fiestas, the Maya mock the haughty ways of the light-skinned Spaniards. The fiesta is paid for by men who are part of the cargo system. Introduced by the Spanish conquerors, it is a system of civil and religious obligations organized into progressive offices. A man must work his way up through the 4 levels of the system, receiving no payment from the community, but spending large amounts of money to sponsor religious celebrations for the saints of the Catholic Church, who possess many attributes of the ancient Maya gods. When a man pledges a year of service to the saints and his community, it is both a burden and a privilege. It is his cargo. He must be a good person. He must be faithful to his trust. For 12 months he must bear his cargo. To no one else will he leave his cargo. Will he leave any portion of his cargo. Let no one talk against him. Let no one murmur against him. May he keep in sight. May he keep before his eyes his cargo, his service. Thousands of Maya live spread out in the hills, in hamlets or parajes, and come together in town for market days and for ritual celebrations. These are not towns as we think of them, but ceremonial centers in which economics and religion are completely intertwined. The cargo system is fundamental to this blend of the secular and the sacred. The towns are mostly uninhabited, except for the mestizo shopkeepers who sell the Maya candles, liquor, and other goods for fiestas, and the cargo holders who must reside there a year to perform their duties, which range all the way from sweeping the cabildo, or city hall, to nailing the Christ image to the cross on Good Friday. The more expensive the cargo position he undertakes, the more prestige a man attains. In this subsistence economy, where does a man find the money to pay for his cargo? Traditionally, the Maya have been corn farmers, and in a good year, the average annual income is about $1,200. A farmer grows enough corn for his family, and the surplus is sold for cash to buy other necessities and discharge his obligations in the cargo system. Corn has always played a central role in the religion and mythology of the Maya. We began to talk about the creation and the making of our first mother and father, of yellow corn and of white corn, the gods made our flesh. Of cornmeal dough, they made our arms and they made our legs. The Maya practiced slash and burn agriculture. They cut trees and underbrush from a piece of land, burn it, and then plant corn, beans, and squash with a digging stick. To us, Agustin Gomez appears to be a simple corn farmer. But to the Maya, he is a man of prestige and influence because he has passed through all 4 levels of the cargo system. He is called a pasado and is treated with respect and deference because he has given away large amounts of his own money and has borrowed thousands of pesos from kinsmen and friends to pay for his cargo positions. Senor Gomez wears the same high-backed sandals that the ancient Maya did to mark a man of prestige. But for the younger men of the Highlands, corn farming alone will no longer support the more expensive cargo positions. The Maya have always relied on the land to support them, but now the land is scarce and the soil poor, and they too are becoming poor.
Francisco, ¿dónde fuiste?
Muy lejos.
¿Dónde fuiste a traer leña?
Ya en Tuxtla.
¿Cuánto tiempo tuve que caminar?
1 hora.
¿Y dónde está tu papá?
Él está en la finca, trabajando.
¿Dónde?
Tengo la tenanga en la finca.
Where the land is very poor, as it is in Todos Santos, Cuchamatan, in the highlands of Guatemala, the people must hire out as laborers on the large cotton or coffee plantations in order to pay for their cargoes. They are fed only beans, and are exposed to the pesticides sprayed on the cotton. As wage laborers, they become subject to the larger economic forces at work in Guatemala. They stay away from their hamlets for long periods of time, work under difficult conditions for low wages, largely to fulfill obligations ritually prescribed for them in the cargo system.
La vida de nosotros en la costa es muy cuesta, porque esa es la pena el que da con nosotros, es que con los güiritos nos vamos en camión para llevar los patojos y llegar allá, muy cuesta y mucho calor, mucho sol. El camión tiene una tabla nada más y le duele el todo para sentar y brinca y todo, y hasta el otro día llegamos a la costa. Por eso se hace enfermedad de los patojitos. Cuando llegamos allá, no vamos a recibir costal, vamos a recibir raciones y después se van a trabajar la gente y yo voy a tortilla de la gente y todos los hombres, mujeres se van al campo.
¿Cómo qué trabajo hacen?
A cortar algodón. Hay unos que corten mucho y hay unos que hacen 200 libras, hay unos que hacen 100.
¿Y cuánto se gana por quintal?
Aquel día un quetzal cada quintal, a centavo cada libre de algodón, a centavo.
¿Usted cuánto da a la gente antes que van?
Según cuando la gente pide unos 10 quetzales o 25 quetzales estamos dando para que vaya la gente a trabajar, ¿verdad? Sí.
¿Y cuánto tiempo están en la costa?
Un mes.
Un mes.
30 días trabajo.
¿Y usted cómo gana? ¿Usted gana? Sí,
Yo gano a veces que gano 75, 100 quetzales al mes.
¿Cuánto ganan la gente allá?
La gente gana, según depende, gano 40, 50 quetzales al mes, un poco más.
As difficult as life is on the plantation, even this kind of work is often scarce. The work is seasonal, and unemployment in northern Guatemala is high. In order to pay for their cargo positions, some men resort to extreme measures. Enrique Olvera came to the United States 8 years ago from the village of San Jeronimo in Mexico. But in a sense, he has never left. The powerful system of cargo obligations requires him to send thousands of pesos back to his town at considerable sacrifice and in lieu of actual service. He lives in this group of trailers with a large extended family and a number of young people from his village who have come to the United States. Senor Olvera's last cargo cost 8,000 pesos, but with the 15% interest paid back to kinsmen and friends, the total cost was 12,000 pesos, or about $600. He must continue with his cargo obligations, or he can never return to his village, something which he and his wife hope to do someday. The burden is so heavy for us that we must come north to be able to pay our debt. Those, like myself, who can't go to their own villages, receive a bill by mail so we can pay as though we were there. At a plastics company, Olvera paints everything from merry-go-round horses to statues that adorn the tops of hamburger stands. It is believed among the Maya that a man and his family will be punished by the saints with sickness or poverty if he does not pass his cargo well. Frank Kansian, professor of anthropology at the University of California at Irvine, believes that the cargo system performs important economic functions for the community as well.
Some people think that this cargo system is what's called a leveling device. That is to say, they think what it does is by requiring the rich people to spend more money than the poor people spend, that it evens out wealth differences in the community. And by evening out the wealth differences, it prevents the envy of some poor people for rich people from disrupting the life of the community. The label that's usually put on this is a socially controlled means of display. That's what the cargo system is. So that the community controls the way people spend their money, and in effect returns to them position in the community for their service.
Throughout a year of religious service, dressing and adorning the saints is one of the major duties of a cargo holder. The saints of the Catholic Church are conceived of as the brothers and sisters of God, and are worshipped in much the same way that the ancient Maya gods were. Their jewels and their clothing are sacred objects and must be packed in bundles when the saints are taken to visit other ceremonial centers. These men from Lorenza in Mexico are preparing to carry their patron saint to the nearby town of Magdalenas. Religious practices for the Highland Maya encourage trade between widely dispersed communities, and taking the saints visiting involves the sale of special items produced in each hamlet. Saint San Andreas has been carefully tended by the cargo holders, from the lowest to the highest. While all the cargo holders attend the saint, each man, depending on his level in the system, has a set of special duties.
Among the Maya, there are different levels of cargoes or positions, and what a man does is he has a career, often that involves different positions at different times in his life. For instance, Capitan is a cargo that serves just for a few fiestas. So the Capitan carries flags at a few fiestas and doesn't serve for the whole year. Mayordomos serve out the full year and have lots of various duties in the church. They change flowers, they spread pine needles on the floor, they light candles at particular occasions where that kind of ritual is necessary. The alfereces are essentially an embellishment on the fiesta system. They don't have any of the particular duties that the mayordomos do. They give parties for each other, they march around at the celebrations. They look much more important than the mayordomos and are only present on very special situations. Agustin Gomez is a man who's passed all the positions in his community. That is to say, one position at each level in the cargo system. And having done that, he's become a pasado, an elder of the community, who receives respect for all the rest of his life, for having done a lot for the community and a lot for the saints.
Fiestas are the heart of the religious side of the cargo system. All over the Highlands, cargo holders make the great celebrations possible. At the end of the year, the cargo is passed to another man. The old women have checked the bundles to make sure the saint's possessions are safe. The saints are taken into the church for the ceremony of the passing of the cargo. I took care of, I looked after my cargo. To no other father of mine, to no other mother of mine, did I give the cargo entrusted to me. In the same way they must have before their eyes, during a year in the divine world, during a year in the divine earth, those who follow me, those who are my successors. And now it will be another man's turn to bear the burden of service. A new year of service brings with it a new series of obligations. The town will be empty again, except for the mestizo shopkeepers and the two types of cargo holders. Those who administer the civil and legal affairs of the Maya, and those who carry out the elaborate religious fiesta schedule. It is an honor for each new man to continue the traditions of his ancestors and to give his wealth so the community will prosper. The Highland Maya continue to fulfill their obligations in the cargo system because it is the way of their forebearers, because theirs is a spirit forged in humility and reverence. The Maya fusion of the ancient beliefs and those of Christianity mean that their burdens, no matter how heavy, are accepted. It is difficult to know what the future holds for the Highland Maya way of life. Some will continue to live as they have for thousands of years. They will still harvest corn, beans, and squash. As the political and economic situation in northern Guatemala becomes increasingly desperate, however, it threatens not only the cargo system, but the very existence of the Maya themselves. Yet, as their wise men wrote centuries ago in their book of prophecies, the Chilam Balam, the Maya are firm in their conviction that they will endure. The ancient Maya year gods are pictured as bearers on a journey, each god carrying a load of time on his back. Now each new cargo holder also shoulders his burden for a year. With the burden comes much joy and some pain. In observing the duties and celebrations required by the cargo system, the Maya remain allied to the ancient gods, to the new gods of Christianity, and above all, to each other. For this, we are gathered together. For this, we are united.